So imagine that you're in college and you're currently a student at one of the top universities, and you're at a party and you're speaking with someone who is a sociology and gender studies major, and they're currently interning at a nonprofit. And you tell them that you're a business school student and you're currently studying finance and accounting and you're looking to go into investment banking in New York after college. Then they look at you with kind of a smirk, and in a weird way, they say, "Oh, you're such a sellout." In like a joking way though. And it's all fun and games and you leave the party, but the next day you're thinking about it and reflecting on that conversation. You realize that what was behind that statement was the idea that by pursuing a prestigious and high-paying role in investment banking, you must be, choosing the money and the prestige over whatever your real passion might be. As someone who has been through and experienced the whole system of going to a prestigious university where everyone tells you that you need to go into a high-powered career field like investment banking, consulting, tech out of undergrad, I understand the whole dynamic that a lot of students face when they try to decide what they want to pursue after college. For those of you who are new, my name is Matt Huang. I'm a current management consultant at BCG and a former investment banking analyst. And I make these videos because I enjoy it, but also because I would have wished that somebody would have made these for me when I was younger. In this video, I'm going to talk through 3 reasons that I think it is worth pursuing prestige out of college. So reason number 1 is everybody has imposter syndrome. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it doesn't matter where you work, whether it's at Goldman Sachs or at some no-name company. Everyone is going to feel at some point in their career that they don't belong there, or that they're not supposed to be there, or that they got in by mistake. Now, imposter syndrome is definitely going to be a bit more intense at a more prestigious company because you'll be surrounded by really smart people most of the time. But the sooner that you can realize that being at one of these companies is not all that it's chalked up to be, then the sooner that you can move on and place less value on prestige going forward in your career. Let me give you an example. So when I was a student, I thought that all of the kids on campus who went into the top consulting firms like McKinsey, Bain, and BCG, I thought that they were all really, really impressive. And rightfully so. Most of the kids that get into these firms were like president of some club on campus, did a bunch of extracurriculars, and they have a really high GPA. And they also tend to be some of the more outspoken and eloquent individuals on campus if they're going into consulting. And I was never like that as a student. I was never the most popular kid, I was never the most charismatic, and I definitely wasn't the most eloquent. So I never saw myself as somebody who could go into management consulting. But fast forward 3 years, and here I am, working as an associate at BCG in New York. And having worked here for over a year, I realized that a lot of these people are just like me. Sure, someone may have Harvard on their resume, but that doesn't mean that you can't do just as good of a job as they can. You only get this realization, though, if you work at these prestigious businesses and companies where you'll be interacting on a day-to-day basis with people from super prestigious backgrounds. And so all this is to say that the sooner that you can realize that Goldman and McKinsey are just companies built on the backs of 22-year-olds, and that they're just normal, regular people like you and me, the sooner you can get over any sort of feelings of inferiority or imposter syndrome. Now, I'm not saying that imposter syndrome is going to go away indefinitely. I definitely don't think imposter syndrome ever completely goes away, but in my mind, it's definitely a reasonable statement to say that if you're working at Goldman Sachs, you won't place Goldman Sachs on as high of a pedestal as if you are somebody working somewhere else and you only look at Goldman Sachs from the outside. Things are never as glamorous as they are from the outside. Once you're inside the belly of the beast, even the most well-known companies in the world, like some of the Fortune 500, Fortune 50 businesses that I've worked with on projects while at BCG, they are not run nearly as well as you would think. And the sooner that you can realize that, the sooner you can get over this whole like, oh my God, this company is so prestigious. Like, I can't believe so-and-so works there. They must be so smart. Now, the second reason that pursuing prestige is a good idea early in your career is because most people don't know what they want to do out of college, and that's okay. Sure, there's gonna be like that one kid that knows for a fact that they definitely wanna work in hedge funds and they've been trading stocks since they were a baby and their dad gave them a portfolio to play around with when they were 10 years old. Sure, there's gonna be that one kid. But for 99% of people, college is gonna be an exploratory time in your life, and you very well may not know what you want to do long-term as your career. And so this is why there's value in prestige, because prestige, in essence, just opens up a lot of doors for you. And you do want to have a lot of doors open to you early on. What you should be doing after you land a prestigious job, though, is you need to be very reflective about what you dislike and like about that job, because it's going to inform which of the doors you will eventually pick. Because yes, prestige has the value of opening a ton of doors to you, but at a certain point, you have to pick one door and you have to commit to it. And when you pick that door, that means you close a lot of the other doors. So it's very important as you're working your first job to really think and reflect constantly on what sort of work you enjoy, what industries you like, what sort of people you enjoy working with more than others, so that you can decide later on which door you want to commit to. Now, the third reason that there's value in pursuing prestige right out of college is it can give you confidence to take bigger risks later down in your career. Now, I recently watched a podcast by one of my favorite YouTubers where they were interviewing Eric Way, who is the founder of a company called Carrot, which basically makes credit cards for content creators. Eric went to Harvard for undergrad, interned at the Blackstone Group in investment banking as a junior, and then worked full-time at McKinsey for 2 years after he graduated. After McKinsey, he went and worked as a product manager at Instagram. And so it's safe to say that this guy was collecting achievements left and right. And when he was asked what he thought about pursuing all these different prestigious jobs before starting his own company, he had something really interesting to say.
How have you had the confidence to just go for these big things? Like to have the brazen confidence to some degree to be like, I'm going to get into Harvard, or like the brazen confidence to leave your Instagram job to be like, I'm going to go build a company and then think that I can raise $100 million.
Part of it is what we spoke to earlier on collect enough infinity stones and you build enough psychological safety that you make riskier decisions. So confidence builds on itself over time. Like I've done enough of these externally prestigious occupations that I can now know to myself, I'm not a fucking idiot, which I don't say that to sound pompous. I say that because for 99% of my life, that's what I thought about myself deep down. I'm actually just stupid and a fraud. And I finally got into a point where I'm like, no, I don't think I'm an idiot.
He basically said that it gave him the confidence to pursue and make that big leap of starting his own company. And it showed him that he wasn't an idiot. Now, that's kind of a funny way of saying it, but basically he's saying that he had the confidence to pursue Carrot after having done all those other things. And I think that confidence is a difficult thing to truly develop. The confidence to take a leap and take a big risk, like starting your own company in your career, only comes from having achieved other things previously, right? Like just think about it. If you can prove to yourself that you can achieve one goal, then that'll give you the confidence to achieve the next. And I'm not saying by any means that you cannot be successful if you do not land a prestigious job out of college. All I am trying to get across here is that there is value in prestige, and I'm trying to help you guys understand the real value that prestige affords. The real value of prestige is not, oh, when I go home for Christmas break, my grandparents are super proud of me because I'm working some job in New York. No, it comes from giving you the optionality, which then you eventually need to decide which of these options you want to commit to, and also the confidence that it gives you to pursue risks or things that you wouldn't have had the confidence to pursue. So anyways, I hope that this was insightful, and if you liked the video, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.